The vehicle has 3-layer special paintwork and, unfortunately, a damaged area. Wash the vehicle thoroughly before you try to find the correct shade. You can find the vehicle's color code on the nameplate on the passenger side B column. However, that is not all, because the color code alone is not adequate. Every vehicle has different color variants. Find out the color variant now. You do this using sample plates which are painted with various different shades. It is important to make the comparison in daylight, so make sure that you always compare the paint outside or under a daylight lamp. Make the comparison close to the damaged area. If you do not have any archived sample plates, then produce some. We will show you the optimal method for producing sample plates which correspond to the vehicle paintwork. Once you have found the correct sample plate, move the vehicle into the preparation area. Attachments such as trim strips, door handles and the mirrors are removed before painting. Write down the color code with a variant on the order sheet. This is the only way to verify which color variant you used for the repairs at a future point in time. Mix the paint. Use the mixing computer with the attached wire in the mixing room. Either scan or type in the exact code into your mixing program. In our case, the color is Diamond White Metallic. This color has 3 layers of paint. The base coat 1 is the basic color. The base color 2 creates the effect, and the clear coat to seal it and create the gloss effect. Mix the base coat 1. The program specifies the paint components and the adjustment additives along with the corresponding quantities. Then get the first paint components and pour these slowly into the container. Carefully observe the quantity bar and do not pour too much paint into the mixing container. Confirm and get the next paint components. Carefully add these to the mixing container as well. The same also applies to all further paint components and adjustment additives. When mixing the paint, please take into account the paint manufacturer's painting instructions. Once you have added all of the paint and additives to the mixing container, mix everything thoroughly. Repeat the procedure for the base coat 2 and the clear coat. In the preparation room, examine the damaged area closely. There is a small dent here. Thoroughly clean both doors once again. Clean the edges as well. Now cover up the vehicle for the preparation. Cut out the cover around the damaged area. You only need to cut out a small area. Then put on the required protective clothing and sand the damaged area with an eccentric sander. Use fleece to remove the dust and mat a large surface around the sanded area. Clean the sanded area and prepare the filler. Apply the filler evenly to the damaged area. Dry the filler with an infrared lamp. Ensure that the lamp corresponds to the manufacturer's standards and is in good condition. See GOTIS for approved devices. Select the correct program and set the correct distance. Time to start. The program determines the correct temperature and drying time. Apply the inspection powder. The black powder shows you any defects. Sand the filler using a sanding block and dust extractor. Once you have finished, sand a large area around it using an eccentric sander. Use fleece to remove the dust and mat a large surface around the sanded area. Clean the area. Write down the mixing time on the disposable container for the filler. Coat the damaged area with the filler. Dry the filler using an infrared lamp. Sand and then clean the surface. With some paints, it's a good idea to use a colored filler. You can also dry this filler with an infrared lamp. Now increase the size of the cutout on the cover to expose the entire surface of both doors. Cleanly tape the edges of the cover to the vehicle. Now apply the inspection powder to the vehicle. Sand the surface with the eccentric sander. See the manufacturer's information for the grain. As a rule, you should use a grain between P320 and P500. Moisten the areas to be sanded with water and then sand the surface with the eccentric sander. Sand the edges and grooves by hand. Then thoroughly clean the surface again. Dry the surface with a lint-free cloth. Now you can remove the cover. Open the doors and clean the edges on the door frame. Now it is time to cover the vehicle for painting. Cleanly tape all of the edges so that the edges of the masking tape form straight lines. Fold the masking tape over and tape an edge. Cover the vehicle as well and cut the sheet along the line of the masking tape. Now the vehicle is ready for the painting booth. Just before painting, wipe the surface to be painted with a special dusting cloth. First apply the base coat 1 horizontally and then at right angles. Maintain a distance of approximately 20 centimeters. In order to achieve optimal results, apply a color blender afterward. Now it's time for the next coat, the base coat 2, which creates the effect. This effect paintwork is sprayed onto the wet color blender. Then let the paint evaporate. See the manufacturer's instructions for all of the evaporation and drying times. Then apply the clear coat. Let the paint dry. See the manufacturer's instructions for the booth temperature and the drying time. In order to achieve an object temperature of 60 to 65 degrees, you must set the booth temperature to approximately 80 to 90 degrees. Let's take a look and see whether the painting was successful. Examine the painted area. Great, that looks good. There are only a few visible blisters and irregularities. However, you can polish these out. The transition between the old and the new paint is also perfect. Now you can remove the cover. Your customer will believe that the paint had never been scratched. A great result.